Okay, so Stella forced me to get up this morning at 3 o'clock when I did not want to. Man, I was conked out. And anyways, she's been having like a fit, or not a total fit all morning, but bossy and demanding. So we'll see how this goes. It only lasts for a few minutes before she needs something. And also on her back thing is like I can feel a muscle that is tight, and then one down by her hip. So I just feel sure that she's got like a, muscle spasm. Like if you've ever had one, it pulls your back out of alignment. It hurts really bad. And it pulls pressure on the nerves. So anyways, I'm sure she's having something like that. And she's uncomfortable. I keep trying to rub the muscles and relax them and stuff. But I think it's because of her arthritis and hip dysplasia. And then plus it's raining and raining and raining and cold. And that always makes her inflammation worse. So I'm sure she's really uncomfortable. But she's definitely kind of a diva. Like if she's uncomfortable, she's gonna make sure I know it. And so, oh, my nose is stopped up. So if you're whistling, it's probably my nose. I mean, probably because we're being pounded by whatever fucking chemical assault we're under at this point. Who even fucking knows? My God damn. But there was, I already feel like I'm spinning around in circles. So let me just see where I can go. Because one thing is this Met Gala thing. It's so fucking ridiculous. Oh my God. And the people looked fucking absurd going into it. Like, let's just see how absurd you can be. And that's supposed to, you think you're being creative or something? I don't know. I thought, yeah, Zendaya's outfit I thought was cool. And everybody liked hers. And I guess she was supposed to be the showstopper or something. But that's their love child that they've been pushing. And she's a star out of Euphoria. And remember when I talked about Euphoria a long while ago, and I said it is so fucking intense with the sex stuff. It's such adult theme for a kid show, and all the fucking young people I knew loved it. And that's what sets this tone, and anything goes, and do it with whoever, whenever. Adult, like, who cares? Just do it. Charge them. It's very, and now it's coming out some, who is it? Oh, Drake. Drake is like executive producer or something. So, yeah, I had said a long time ago about that show, but she's the star of that show. And so, yeah, she's like the love child that they're going to push, because she represents a direction that they want it to go. And it's funny too, because, all the people who are paying attention to it and becoming outraged, a lot of them are all people who are really into the strip, and there's a lot of stuff going on. And there's a lot of stuff going on right now. And of course, that's how they're going to do it, because everything is this moral dilemma. And when the moral dilemma is so like, woo, like that, that's what wakes people up. That's what gets them to be outraged and like, oh my God. And there's so much of that. Oh my God. Because I swear to God, it's the same people. And they are just can't even believe it. All this is going on, and they just go out there like there's nothing happening. And there's so many parts to this whole thing with the awakening. Like what I see of different aspects of it, there is like a lot of stuff going on, because it's waking people up to just a lot of different things. Just like who is it, the dog shooting lady who wants to run for, or if she is, I don't even know who the hell this lady is, but some name that keeps coming and coming and coming. All these names that keep coming up. Once they go on the stage, once they're pulled onto the stage, it's to expose Everything is about exposing. I was like the absurdity too with this Gala ball, and how many of these fucking people, how many of these girls could not motherfucking walk in their own goddamn dress. Like, these videos were going all night last night. TikTok pushed this hard, and it was ridiculous too. It was being pushed so hard on TikTok. I was just like, I can't even anymore. And I decided to watch a movie. And then on YouTube, it had the Met Gala live, but it had already ended. But it was like almost 3 hours of it live. But it had just ended like 36 minutes ago. And it said 2.2 million views. And I was like, oh, in 36 minutes, they got 2.2 million views? Or was that all during the live? I don't know. I don't really know how all that stuff is figured out. But I was thinking, how many of these people are just bought, like half of Kim's thing isn't real people. So like, is it even real people who are watching this shit? Or is it just their number thing? Like, they just have like a little button, push this button so our numbers go up. Like, I don't know. To me, it's so absurd. But how many of these girls couldn't fucking walk in their own goddamn dress? It's like, what in the holy hell elitist fucking nonsense is this? Oh, here, please, you must help me. I cannot walk by myself. And then they have these people. Some of them had several people having to help them walk. And then they do this whole big stare thing. And then they have all these fucking photo shoots, and they all stand there posing like they're, I'm sure they want to look good in the pictures. I'm sure they've seen enough pictures of themselves that are shit that it's like a lot of pressure. Like, oh, get a pose. Because, you know, that's another thing. But some of this stuff, even because a lot of people have been comparing the Hunger Games to what's happening right now. And there was even one of the people, I don't know if it was the same girl who played it in the show, but she totally looked like it. And she may have been an interviewer or something. I don't know, because I only see these like little quick things. But it's like, oh my gosh, this is the absurdity. This is the part that's supposed to be waking them up, about making them outraged, because it's just so in your face. And, you know, but for those of us who have been awake for a while, it's like, look how far it had to get into your face. That's the soul's healing, see, that they got a face in themselves. But it has to do with so much other stuff. Like, that's the thing, is people just don't realize, you know, especially people who are even trying to do their healing. And you're not just healing, you know, what happened to you, you know, by Uncle Joe or something. And I was thinking this morning too, you know, because there's a whole bunch of different, I saw funny videos somebody did on Joe, but they've been pushing him hard out there talking and stuff. And so anyways, it just came into my mind, you know, how Jim Carrey could always switch into other characters. And I know, like, he for sure is doing some of these ones that are walking and falling. And I think Dana Carvey's doing some of them. And I don't know who else. There's supposedly some other actor in England. So I'm sure they have different ones in different parts. And they probably, maybe so they don't all have to go everywhere or something. I don't know how it's doing it. But I think there's a bunch of different Joes. And, but I was thinking, you know, it just makes sense too, because how he could switch into different characters and become so, I bet you, like, some of these people, this is their role of a lifetime, playing somebody. And I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like tricking the world, but they're not tricking the people who are awake, you know. It's like they're trying to wake up the people who aren't awake. Those of us who are awake, we're not being tricked. We're just trying to figure out who's in the mask. Like, who is that? And I think that's part of the whole thing, is them throwing it off by keep changing out the character. Because I think his height changes and everything. I think his size, I think he changes. And then they could, you know, if they have Dana Carvey playing him, they could have him being more where he's around other, I don't know. They're good at this stuff. This is how they have ran this world. You know, they'll go put a bunch of shorter people, like the security or the whoever stands next to him would be shorter, so it would make him seem like he was this tall. So they have ways of being able to trick us on the height. But I think that's part of the like illusion to get us to wake up, to get us to, because it's supposed to be, you start questioning your reality. You start looking at things like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Wait a minute, what's going on? What? That's the part that wakes you up. And that's what they're trying to trigger in people. But it's just so absurd. And then when you see people waking up, they're just outraged. They're just like, I can't believe it. And then some of them too, like the ones who were really into following celebrities and they're doing videos saying stuff. It's funny when you go in and read the different comments because of the different following. But it's gonna keep going. And then you think like, okay, well, the following doesn't get it, but the creator does. So the creator is saying things, and that's gonna see how it ripples out. So it all works out. It is gonna continue. I don't know how long it's gonna drag out. Like I've said a zillion times. It's like all these great dates come and go where you think, oh, maybe this is finally it, but we're not gonna know the date until it happens. Once it happens, that will be the date that we always remember. But until then, it's like, oh, is it today? Is it tomorrow? Who knows? But we're in a time of change, and every day things are changing. Every day things are being exposed, and every day things get more and more unsafe. More and more miracles keep happening. There was a SUV. This is on that footage too. There was a SUV that wrecked, flew up in the air, and there was one car driving by, flew over that car and crashed. It just looked like, like it was meant to be that way. And the guy who was in the car that didn't get crushed by the SUV was a preacher on his way to church. So it is like, so that's a lot of miraculous. Oh, it's miraculous. But there's a whole bunch, like I've said, I knew there was going to be. And like the one lady whose a child was dead, and they kept trying and trying to bring her back, and she stayed dead. And I don't remember what it was, if something, it was like 20 minutes later or something, that she came back to life. And the mom was like, oh my God, it's a miracle. There's going to keep being all these kinds of miracles, these crazy wrecks where people just get up and walk out, because this is a time of like exposing, showing us stuff. And it is like, there's some of this stuff I don't know how to explain it, but I can see it so clearly. Is like, you just got to think of like the earth as a campground, and all the different people's experiences at this campground are all their own experience. Like all the different people have their own experience happening. And even if they're sharing a space, they're in their own realities. And so that is what we're experiencing. And that's why I say you can walk through the experience in observation, just like you can walk through the campsite and just like, oh, see what they got going. Oh, look at those ones over there. They're cooking out. Oh, look at these ones. They have hung lights. They're having a party. Everybody's got their own experience happening. And it's their experience that they are there to play out. And so, nothing can happen to you that's not meant to happen to you. So it's not like you need to be in fear of like, oh, that happened, it's going to happen to me. Because that's a part of the illusion that they get into your mind, because you don't have that separation of your own soul as your own experience. And so they get people to fear something may happen to them that won't happen unless it's meant to happen. So, there's lots and lots of horrible crimes happening. And lots of, so many, this is something I said was coming too. All these fucking people killing their kids, man. Horrible shit. Like, fuck, I can't even believe how dark stuff has gotten. And then horrible stuff like a guy falls in the water at his college graduation party or something. Nobody fucking rescues him, and he's on life support, and he didn't know how to swim, and somebody pushed him in. And then they all just left him in there struggling for 20 minutes. Man, that's a lot of 20s. That's weird. And then And then there's been a third girl. So the one girl who was dismembered on the date, who she was like 19 and the guy was like 31 or 32 or something. And he was already caught and he was already in court. There's two more girls, and I don't know what the whole story is going to end up being. I know one of them is Louisiana, and she was only 19, and they've just started finding her parts. And I don't know why it's so hard to swallow when your nose is so stopped up. But all these things that are happening will only happen if it's meant to happen to you. So, and you got to remember too, is the soul left the building before all that stuff went down. No matter if it comes back that, oh, they were alive and all that stuff. The soul isn't in there. The soul is not going through the experience like people think. Like the soul has, even when you, when something really bad is going to happen, a lot of like light, like what people think of as angels. Oh, it's going to make me cry. Man, that's intense. Because they come and like surround them. It's like, I don't know how to explain it, but you are, it's like you're always protected. And so even if, you know, you are kidnapped and you're panicking and you're freaking out and you have no idea you're a soul or anything, that is that they come and surround you. They can't save you from the inevitable. They can't change things, but they surround you. And that is when people hear like voices, they pull your attention. They pull your attention away from, oh, man, that's rough. They pull your attention away from what's happening to you. And it's kind of like pulling you out of it, out of the situation, so you don't experience it. Sometimes they stand on the side and let you watch, so you have an understanding. It's all very variable. It really depends on you, and there's a lot more to it. It's not like there's a set thing like, oh, every single time this is exactly what happens. No, it has to do with you and what you need and what, you know, it's all there for you. And that is sad. That I don't know. Is it sad? Is it happy? I don't know. It's emotional. I got tears in my hair. Let me think. Because there was something else that really threw me, because you can see all this stuff. And then I can have an understanding of what, like, you have to be able to see the stuff you have to decipher what it is you're seeing. And then you have to put it into words. The whole thing is a little difficult. And sometimes, and plus it's always like, fuck, when you can see it and understand it, it's different than when you're trying to explain it. Then you keep thinking, man, am I explaining this right? Is people getting what I'm showing, what I'm seeing? And that's why, you know, I've said before, your best thing is to always improve your communication. Keep going. And, you know, and this is one thing too, is I hear a lot of people like, well, my guides want me to give a message, which there's a lot of messages, you know, you can listen to all the messages. But a lot of times I hear these people and I think, this is a message to you. Like, they're talking to you. They're not trying to tell you to tell everybody. They're trying to explain something to you. So, but, you know, that's all just a part of the learning and stuff, as your communication improves, to just have a better understanding. Now my nose is going to run. But that is part of your development, too, of self. It looks like a tear dropped off of my face or something. I don't know. I am seeing things like crazy. I see things fucking walking around all goddamn time. I see things like scurrying around. Like, there's a lot of fucking like energies around us. And, I don't know, what it is. If it is like, I have no idea, you know. But whatever is going on, like if you're hearing voices, a lot of people are hearing voices and stuff. And that is all just like an elaboration. It's a continuation of your awakening. So seeing the things, hearing the things, all of it is about this awareness and this awakening of, the world around you. It's, yeah, now I'm back at the campsite thing. Because it's just so weird how people just don't understand how everything is different realities. And then they want to judge other people's space and time, whatever that experience, whatever they're happening in their experience that is learn and grow. There's a group of people who always think they know better. And it's like the universe the universe knows. I was so glad yesterday. I was talking to this person, Dylan, on TikTok, and we talk often, but he was saying that he never, he's been fucked over by a lot of people and stuff. He goes, but I don't ever try and get even. I always just know the universe is going to work it out. And I'm like, yes, that's how I live. And it's like, you just, you either, I don't know if it's part of the awakening, if it's born inside you, if it's part of the learning and growing or whatever, but there is other people who, are like me, who don't just go out there trying to get even and be vindictive, because that is a lot of dark energy that you are churning with, that you're playing with, that you're pulling in. And to keep yourself angry and distance from people, that is to keep feeding that energy. And that energy will make you sick, and it's toxic. And now I'm seeing the gala thing again, and all those women, and how absurd it was on Kim's thing. And I think some of this stuff is like, to have, like I've said before, like Joe, the fake Joe is there to destroy this person's legacy. So this person won't leave a good legacy. He's going to always be exposed for the kook he is, and the last memories that will be of people of like his guy, he couldn't even barely talk or walk, and perving on kids and everything. So so I felt like kind of like, this is to show how really stupid Kim is. Like, this is absurd. So she wore some dress, and I don't even know, it was supposed to be some kind of flowers theme or something. I also saw Demi Moore trying to walk in her dumbass dress. I was like, fuck, some of these people, they need several people to help them. It's like, oh my God. Just go line up in a fucking museum and stand there in your dresses. You're just wall art. You're not even fucking, you're just a mannequin. And like, I feel like you should be able to walk in your own goddamn dress. If you need fucking people helping you, like, you're like, that's just so fucking absurd. It's like this total aristocratic, elitist fucking mentality. And then you need the lower class, to help you, of course. Because no upper class, that's below them, they need the fucking ones to help. It's like, oh my God, just absorb all our energy. But they can't absorb it unless you give it to them. But anyways, Kim's dress. So she's, like I said, they were trying to make this anime character come to life or something. It's like Jessica, what was her name? Jessica Rabbit goes anime or something. These fucking big, and then this big bust, and then this tiny waist, and this giant ass hips. This big ass, like, just like voluptuous, And, but this dress, she cinched her waist in, and it looks like it's like made out of metal or something, which there's like a whole thing. What was that? There was a whole thing about that. Like, it was back like in the dark ages, or not the dark ages, not the stone age. Okay, so maybe it's the dark ages. That's what it's called. Not the stone ages. But there was something about putting this like cage around people. It was like a punishment or a torture or something. And so I don't know. This outfit seemed like a torture chamber. But so they cinched her waist in to make it really, really small. And you can tell she can't take any breath. She's like, people in the comments kept saying, we're going to have a medical emergency here. She couldn't fucking walk and she couldn't fucking move. And it's like, people don't get, like, that is all, like, when you have in our flesh and blood bodies, so you have your lungs, you have your esophagus, you have your bronchial, you have your lungs, you have your heart, you have your diaphragm, you have all of your organs, the ones that have to be protected are under the rib cage. So you have your liver, your spleen, your gallbladder, all of the stuff. But through here, so down through your esophagus, it goes down and you've got your stomach in there. And then from your stomach, it has to go through all this filtering system here. And so it does this tubing through your filter. Then you have the diaphragm that is kind of like a separation barrier, kind of like the firmament inside your body. And so then they have going through there, because this is supposed to be holding all your important stuff up and protected. So it's in this rib cage protection center. But you have your intestines have to keep going through, and your intestines go like in a freaking real twisty thing. And your small intestine is really important, and it's a lot of it, and it's very twisty. And then it goes into your large intestine. Your large intestine is bigger, and that's where you get all the absorption of your nutrients and stuff. So I said, you got to get your minerals and stuff in your food. Just taking them in vitamins, they don't make it through the whole system. And so you need something to absorb it. And sometimes, taking your vitamins with food is not going to be, it's like you got to get the vitamins in the food. That's why they've been taking it all out of the food. And, the only thing I can think of is through the mineral salts, cooking on cast iron and stuff, to get minerals and vitamins and stuff. But however you do it, you need to get it cooked into your food. And so anyways, she's crushing. So you couldn't go in onto your diaphragm. So it scoots it down to this space that's right between your diaphragm and your hips. And so where you push that in, and like I had said before, like my mom said back in the 50s, all the girls, they could touch. Like you need to have a waist that you could touch your hands. And, when I was way bigger, and I was constantly, that stressed me the fuck out because I couldn't touch my hands around my waist. And I was like, what the fuck? Am I just a giant? But still, why would my giant hands go around my waist? So, I don't know, just a lot of shit fucked with my head. And so, anyways, that area that she's crushing, just take your hands and go in and see how far you can mush in and see what happens inside your body. You're gonna feel things inside there because she's taking her intestines and squashing them, just crushing her intestines. Like, yeah, that's like a medical emergency for some animals, is crushing your intestines and twisting them and stuff. Isn't that even how they blamed Heather O'Rourke or something for her death, which was like all bullshit. It's disgusting what happened to that kid. And but anyway, so she's crushing her intestines. And I mean, I would assume that she probably couldn't eat. And I was like, man, if she does this all the time, if she's always crushing in like that, because they were the ones who started this binding trend. Like, bind your waist, get these giant ass fake boobs, then get your big fake butt. Like, I mean, if you're more some people don't like the word ethnic, but if you are more cultural, ethnicity is like, there's certain body styles, certain body types that is their body, that they have a badonkadonk, and they are thick, and that's their body style. And but they want to take all these body styles, and then and there's a difference between a woman who has like a big rear than there is for somebody who has just gained a lot of weight. It's not the same, because those girls who can go completely skinny and still have a big butt. It's just, it's people's own body shapes, own body types, you know, we all have different ones. And that, but they're trying to make this conformity, everybody to do this. And it's so bad for you. And I remember when I was seeing them doing that binding thing, and it still comes into my mind, this period of time where they would tie these women into their dresses and bind them in so they couldn't fucking breathe and stuff. What? And fucking for style? And you're telling me that we've come so far, we're doing it again? And then you have these mannequin leaders leading the pack. Come on, girls, let's all do it. It's like, that's not healthy. And I'm like, man, is she having to just live off laxatives because she's messed up her bowel? And then you can, you know, crushing it in like that, you can create necrotic ischemia. Like, the tissues can start dying. And we're going to end up getting a colostomy bag. So it's like, fuck. But anyways, the absurdity behind what she was wearing yesterday, I thought was really driving that home. Like, come on, people. You want to be healthy or you want to fucking be in style? Like, it's retarded, I think. It is absurd, like, what these people push. And then all the people, it's all a paid show. But all of them who just sit there, you know, like, I don't know, there's so many, like all these photographers, all the, like there's people who just all go and just make it into a thing. It's like, it shouldn't be a thing. It's, you know, they want to go and have these weird ass fucking parties and wear weird ass fucking clothes. Why are any of us involved? Like, they're not going to fucking sit and watch our parties. And it's all a fucking show. And then where people are getting so outraged, I can't believe they're not talking about what's going on at the Strip and all this, you know, stuff. And there's a certain RAFA, I guess, is, I think, the name of the place or something. There's a lot of action going on, or I might be saying the place wrong. But they're all outraged. Like, what's going on? And this is what they're doing. But you gotta remember that the people who these people work for are the ones who are paying for all the shit. So they're involved. So of course it's a distraction. They just want you to look away, look over here, be distracted. Look how beautiful these people are. It's like, you know, are they really? Like, I mean, some of them, yeah, they're beautiful and they're being used by these elitist people. But some of them are mannequin. They're just, you know, doctor created. Fucking Dr. Frankenstein created that bitch. So, I don't know. It's like, are we gonna all sit around being like, oh, Dr. Frankenstein did a great job, didn't he? I just love it. And I have seen so many fucking videos talking more shit on this fucking doctors too. Talking about the stuff that can happen from all these fillers. And this one was showing Lisa Rinna's face, because I guess her face is getting a lot of and she, I guess, I don't know if she had some bad reaction, but he was talking about, they put these fillers all in, but then the fillers start going down, and then they put more in. So that is why you're getting these, like, absurd cheeks. Like, they want high cheek. This is high cheekbones. This is what high cheekbones look like. And then they're going, I don't know, like, and then they're sucking this out. So they're fucking looking like, I don't know, like something out of a sci-fi movie. And then that's a look that's pushed on people too. And I don't know, I just see so much shit being pushed on people. Like, these people who are aging and they just want to, you know, oh, love your gray, just love it. And there's this great retinol cream, you can get this great, and all those things. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Because I was watching, what was that? It was a movie I was watching. Was it yesterday? I did watch something. But this one was, oh, let me see if I can see it. It was, okay, it was an old, oh yeah, okay, so it was an older movie from like the 30s or 40s. And it was, let me see what that lady was doing. Oh yeah, okay. So what this was crazy because it was a doctor. I'll share this one in there too. I don't think I've shared it yet because this was like this doctor, and it starts out where he's being just really mean to his wife, and he, you know, she's older than him, and she got too old looking. He has, no, you're just old looking, and then this woman comes in, and she's asking him something. I wasn't paying fully attention to the whole thing. I was still interrupts me, and the movie's still going, but he talked to this woman. She's from some island, some village. It was far away. She's 150 years old. Everybody loves to be old there. And they have the secret to life there, and the secret to extending your life there. So remember how old this movie is. This is all in this movie. And so then she was... So she told him something. He wanted this fountain of youth. And I think he wanted some for his wife, but he wanted to also sell it to everybody else. So his intention was to profit. This is where you got to think about your intention and what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it. Because your intention that's your consequence. Like, what is your desire? What are you doing this for? So I'm always saying, think about, why am I doing this? What am I doing? Where am I going? And so he wanted to go make money off of this thing. So and then he talked his wife into going. He manipulated her into going because he had just told her that morning he wanted a divorce, and she was crushed and she was ready to commit suicide. And then he gets her to come with him to Africa, I think, which the anomaly is fucking in Africa, right? Like, it's going crazy. It's taking up the whole fucking place. Like, something's going on. I don't know what the hell it is, but I'll share that footage too. It was fucking wild. And yeah, I may have shared it yesterday. I don't know, because I keep sharing videos when I see ones that are just like, oh my God. So, or if it's something that I've been talking about, like miraculous or something. And, and there's so much exposing too on the fucking church thing with what's going on. That's just so much talking too. But, anyway, so in this movie, they go and there was parts of this movie too where I was like, oh my God, some stuff is just so stereotyping and so, and then I'm just like, okay, I get that these people want to play these parts, but God, you're bringing your down. It's like, you just did this shit to get people to just take money and sell your soul. So sell your whole fucking soul of everybody. And so for your own money, so you can get attention. So anyways, it's like, let's bring down a whole society. But anyway, so she goes to get there and everything, and they find this lady, and one of the things is this certain iris plant or orchid, this certain orchid plant that has this certain mineral or something in it. And so you need this plant, and they've got the last one. So he wants to steal their orchid or whatever. But then they have to do this ceremony, and then they invite him, invite their group, because they have their person who's taking them around, and then this couple, and then they have all their, all the people who were taking their stuff. And so they get taken by these tribe people, find them in the jungle, kidnap them, take them, and then it ends up being that's the tribe they're looking for. So they're being held prisoner, but then their lady comes, finds them, and she talks to them, and she invites them to this ceremony that they're going to do where she's going to become young tonight. She's going to go back and be young again. And I don't remember if she started telling them they could do it too, but it only lasts for tonight. And the guy really wanted his wife to do it. He's like, come on, let's have a good night. Like, get yourself young again. Let's do this thing. And she was so offended. She was so pissed off. Like, she was mad because a woman wants to be loved for who she is, not what she looks like. Because everybody knows that, looks can fade. Looks, like anything can happen. I think there was that one that traumatized me when I was younger, was that woman who was really beautiful, and then She had got married or something, and then she got in a car wreck, went through the windshield, jacked her face up. Her husband left her because she wasn't pretty anymore, and she ended up getting together with their plastic surgeon. That's a true story. He was the first one that made used the vagina to make lips because her mouth had been tore off. So anyways, you can look it up. So this lady, this ceremony, so the woman picks a man, any old man will do, you get a pick, and then they take him over this like bowl where the smoke is coming up, and they put his head down there, which drugs him. So then he's out of it. Then they take him over and lay him down. And so you have the doctor over here narrating what's happening. So that's how you see what, you know what's happening, because he's narrating and as they're doing it. And so then their medicine man or something, the guy that's wearing the mask thing, so he has this ring on, and then he has this long point. And so they lay the guy on his back. Then they take this point and they jab it down in, and he's telling exactly where it's like, this is exactly what, are you fucking kidding me? And that goes right through the medulla into the pineal gland, and oh, so then they take this wonderful serum out of this person. They drip it over the crushed up little lily stuff, and she drinks it, and then zap, she's all of a sudden, and being 150, they made her like 150. Like, I don't even know what they put on her skin. They just put like fucking, it was kind of like Jim Carrey and Cable Guy when he put on that meat stuff on his face and pretended to be Hannibal. That's about how these people look like as the old person. But then they take it off and they're beautiful. And so she became young. And so then they, the woman was really mad because her husband wanted her to do it. And so then she's like, well, so can I pick any guy? And she's like, yeah, any guy. And so she take him, gets rid of her husband real quick. Didn't see that coming. And so they take him in and do it, and he knew what was about to go down, and he was like fighting it. And then she becomes young again, young and beautiful, which that just goes right up as to her head. And then she has to keep doing it. So she turns into a fucking rockin' murderer because she's got to keep doing it because it only is temporary. And every time you do it, you age about a zillion years, and her skin was like dripping off of her face, and she was getting more and more hideous. I think that's a part of what drives them, is that when they start getting on that, the juice, then they, when they're off of it, they deteriorate because you're not supposed to be doing that. And they're even pushing where they keep pushing about this, now you can get these transfusions from little kids, and you can take all their life force into you, and then you can be younger again. It's like, isn't that we're draining them of their minerals? So aren't they going to age faster because we're taking something from them? Because like what I have said before is, I think when we're born, we have a certain amount of minerals, and it's different for everybody, because there's some of these people I've talked to who are like fucking 19 years old and their hair went solid white, and then they think it's just genetic. It's like, yeah, it's genetic that you got a fucking mineral deficiency, and it's up to you to catch on. It's up to you to question your body. It's up to you to just not go with the flow. It's each of us have to catch on and take notice and then take action. And so she so if we have enough to, keep us going through our younger years, but see, then there isn't any, then our cup is run dry. And so if we're going and taking, like, if people think, oh, well, they're young, it won't hurt them to give me a little. I think it is a way to suck the life force out of some other being. I think they will start suffering. They will start aging faster. And another thing too is I do think that they are doing something to younger people already that is aging them faster. I don't know what it is, but I have seen some people who are pretty young where it's like, dang, they look so much older. like, it is like they're, like, if, I would say, kind of like, okay, this is kind of long. So yesterday I was looking for a movie, and this thing came on. I thought it was an 80s movie. That was something with exercise or something. I don't know. It looked like and I don't know. Then it was all of a sudden it was 4 minute, just a little like video, and but it was of a gym back in the 80s. I think it was out of a movie though. I don't know, maybe whatever it was, but it was like this gym scene of all these aerobic girls. So all these girls in these aerobic costumes, which I did a video showing it because they were so scantily clothed, and all these men keeps thinking like this is a new thing. All these women are just not barely dressed. But then when you see these ones, and there's, out of all these old movies I've watched a lot of old movies, and in the older movies, there is girls walking around in these aerobic clothes. I had talked about that before. I can't even remember which movie. I was like, and they just, went in to go get ice cream after exercise class, or just walking around like in these tights and leotards. But, that was kind of like the trend there for a while. And it was like set on Flashdance, I swear. And I don't remember how it all went, but there was that period of time where it was very trendy to be healthy, to really take care of yourself and to exercise. And then it was really fun too. Like, you go to the gym, there'd be really big classes of aerobics, dancing, and then the girls would get these cute outfits and stuff. Everybody was into tights and leg warmers because everybody wanted to be like Flashdance. And then they put their sweatshirt over their skimpy outfit. But the skimpy outfits were a thing ever since, but back then it was also like, girls were wearing teeny bikinis, and so it was like, oh, they got way more clothes on, and they got tights on. So it wasn't and I don't know if it's part of our society. It's just because, I don't know. It's just, there's changes. But back then, it wasn't like we were looking at each other going, God, go put on some clothes. It was like, I don't know, an honor or something if you walked around in a leotard, because it showed that you were out there exercising. You're taking care of yourself. And so, and then, that Richard guy, he started doing it and getting it to be where there started being men going to classes and stuff. So it was a really big trend for a while. So when I look back on time, I think for a while we were probably eating better. The corporation hadn't fully taken over. So we were eating better. We were exercising. We were taking care of ourselves. Like, people didn't start getting obese until I think sometime in the 80s. And I think it had something to do with for sure with the food, but there became this indulgence in our society, lines of cocaine everywhere. Everybody's out in disco. It came out of balance. Our society went way out of balance, and it kept going. It kept leaning in that direction. But it was also like the ones in control were pulling people over. They were luring people in a certain direction. So they were doing it on purpose. But there for a while, even though they had the introduction of astronaut food, which was fake as fuck, my mom was constantly buying it for us because it was so fucking cool. And, drink Tang. Don't drink orange juice, drink Tang. That's fucking Kool-Aid. And and my body wants juice. And that's another thing too, is when these animals are fucking, like, I know when my body is telling me it needs something, it's like, oh, you gotta have this. And I'm thinking about these dogs eating fucking cardboard, and how many times they're like, their body's craving real food, and then the people start eating real food in front of them, and the dogs come up to them like, oh my God, is that real food? And then the people are, get away from me, It's like, Jesus Christ, people gotta learn to have some fucking, to understand these are fucking sentient beings. This is a fucking living soul you're fucking with, dude. Tell him he can't eat. Tell him to go lay in his cage and shit. So, anyways, the Okay, let me think back which story I was on. Which story am I skipping off of this time? The lady, I already finished the one about the lady uh, using the Chrome and oh yeah, because so we were so I think that there was like a point of being healthier. So if we were born in those 60s, 70s, 50s, then you had a period of time where whatever minerals were being, you had a constant coming in. So, you know, there was still copper pipes. There was still people cooking with cast iron. There was probably still better salt. I don't know at what point that they iodized it and did all that stuff to fuck with it to ruin it, but that there was still, and it's weird too, like when you watch some of these old movies, there was such a push too for the holistic, and it came in so hard with the other, making fun of the other people, like you're not smart, you're not scientific, this is science, you just don't understand science. And so this push, it's always done with bullying and this direction to turn people so that they would go away from holistic and go towards the control under this medical, it's fucking medical tyranny. I swear to God, I can't even fucking believe some of these vets too. Like, oh, this dog was fucking attacked by another dog. It's on the fucking slut thing at the vet, and the vet is like 13,000 up front, or just curtains for him. It's like, what in the medical tyranny fucking bullshit in this fucking world? Like, God damn, where is your soul, motherfucker? So anyways, I think that there was a period of time where we still were getting some, but then once this all started happening and the corporation got control over more of our resources and stuff, then they started taking more of the nutrition out, taking away the copper pipes, taking away everything that was giving people some minerals back. And so that is what I'm saying. I think some of these people, it's moving way faster. They're depleted way sooner. Like, some of us got to have some time in there where we weren't depleted. But that is why some people seem like they're aging faster and stuff, is because they're depleted. They're deficient in minerals and stuff, because this world has nothing to motherfucking do with how old you are. And even though I'm saying this about the period of time, but your aging has to do with how deficient you are. So if you are somebody who is like, you're 35 and all of your friends, they still look kind of younger, but you feel like, I'm fucking looking older every fucking day, and they all seem to stay the same. It's a mineral deficiency. Like, you got to go figure out, like, okay, I've got something I'm missing, and you got to figure it out. And it's hard. And it really puts people up against a wall. Like, well, where do you start? How do you even start? Well, like, there's so many minerals. Like, what am I supposed to do? I get these people asking me this stuff all the time. And I don't have all the answers. Like, it happened to me organically, like I've said. It just was like, I've just been focused on my health, that road towards me and my health, and wanting to recapture feeling good. And so going in that direction has just brought things into my reality. And I'm always open to trying things. It's like, well, I don't understand whenever it's like, because I'm a certain way. And, I'm not trying to be judgmental. I understand that is, for me to learn and to be more accepting, because not everybody is like you. And you just got to be like, okay, they're all on their own journey. They're all figuring out their own stuff. But I can only share parts of my journey. And to me, it seems like the mineral salts, that is one thing, is that the mineral salts, and you have to think about that was the highest currency during the Roman Empire, was the salts, because the soldiers needed them so much for building up their strength. And so that had the most value of anything. It was more valuable than gold and silver, apparently. And so the mineral salt seems like a good place to start. Now I'm hearing that Celtic is full of lead. There's some lady who's going out and testing all these, and she's saying that the Celtic is full of lead. Well, if the Celtic is a corporation that is trying to tell us, oh, look, this is what you need to be healthy, but really it's just another avenue or another vehicle for them to get more junk inside of us. It's completely possible. That is why you got to be, and it's fucking expensive. And I've gone through all my Baja Gold. I got to order some more. I can't wait to get paid. I've gone through all my toilet paper, like all my stuff. But, this was the month I was going to do it. And I got it done. Now it's like 2 days away till payday. So I'm feeling good. And I'm feeling like I conquered this bitch. I made it. And I've still got water, man. I've still got water in my water things that I had filled beforehand. And I feel like I'm doing good. And so the mineral salt seems like that's a good place to start. But, and there's a Baja Gold one, and there's another one. And supposedly the Baja Gold one doesn't have lead in it. I don't know. This is just, this is stuff that people have to, I can't say, oh, I guarantee this, I guarantee that. I don't fucking guarantee shit. I feel like, we're all on our own path. We all have to figure stuff out, and nobody can say, oh, this will definitely work for you. This will 100% work. Nobody fucking knows. Like, you have to figure out what's going to work for you. And so, and it's variable. Like, I fucking am not even shitting you. I've got people like, oh, I just drink moringa tea and all my gray hair went away. So that's what I'm saying. It's each person. It's like you're missing your own deficiencies are your own deficiencies. It don't have to be what everybody else is deficient. It doesn't have to be all people in your family. I mean, how many people understand fully that they are, their DNA is not just the same as their family? It's like they have things that make them different. And so you're not just a product of this family or something. You're a soul, a unique being that came into a situation that went through to experience. And so but it's up to you to try and, come into alignment with what it is your body requires. And so but the mineral salt, see, is a good place to start because there's so many minerals in it. And I don't know how much salt, though, you have to eat for it to get all the different minerals. Like, I've just been taking a couple chunks and eating those and thinking, oh, well, it's got to be. And maybe that, it takes longer to build up. And maybe that's why my hair is going slower, or maybe it's going fast. I don't know. There's not enough fucking different people to compare. I just know it continues to change, and it is getting less of the light color. Just keeps going away, even though to me, when you look at it, it stands out so much because it's opposing color or whatever. And, but I still think it is, it's fading. It's like filling in with color, especially like when you kind of don't leave it in a lump like that. You just kind of push it out through the rest. Then it is, but anyways, there could be more that I need to be doing. It's like, I've got to be figuring it out. And I do try different things. Like, I had started taking that selenium. I'm not going to stay taking the selenium, though. And I don't know. Maybe it's not good selenium. How do I know? So I'm not going to fucking tell somebody else to, do this, do this. Like, I'm just telling you what I'm doing. And I had stopped at the magnesium, but I may try the magnesium again. I may do it again and see, like, if that was it. Because I was using the dog spray. But when I do my order and stuff, I probably will get some more magnesium and see if it does start changing faster again. And, but the things that I do know for sure, though, are things as the cooking on cast iron. That is so fucking important because it cooks the iron into your food. The iron seeps into your food just like the copper seeps into your water. So you get this nutrition from these minerals. And the only thing, like, I think you could cook the cast iron, the shit out of cast iron, and it wouldn't become toxic. The only thing is the water and the copper that will, if you leave it sitting and sitting and sitting, it will get too much copper in it, and then you'll drink it, and it will make you feel sick. It's not going to kill you, but it'll make you really nauseous, give you a really bad headache, and it will make you cringe if anybody even talks about copper water. And that takes a long time to get over. So you don't want to just be like overzealous. You want to, pace yourself. You can't turn things around overnight. This is like 6 months now. And so and you got to think about how much damage you've done to yourself. And you got to be, fixing all that. You got to be cleaning it up and taking better care of yourself. It truly is like a change in your lifestyle. And so so what was I saying about? Because the minerals, because of the more quicker the people are becoming more mineral deficient now, but the ones that are super important that have a lot to do with how our body goes is that the iron, the copper, and the magnesium. And there's more too, but because the boron, I think that lady, what is her name, Beverly or something, maybe she's Australian. I've talked about her before. I know a lot of people know who she is. She's a little holistic naturopathic lady who tells so many things. I think she is such a good resource when you're trying to, and I run across more and more and more, but she's like a bigger name that you can like Google and you can find her real easy and find her content. And she shares all sorts of different things that are natural that you could go in and see, like, okay, well, I've got this issue, what about this, what about that? And then there's some people who are putting together these different concoctions, and like a lot of people are B12 deficient and don't realize it. So you may start taking B12 and all of a sudden everything changes. That's why it's so different. It'll be like, okay, well, you could take B12 and everything changed. That person could take B12 and nothing changed because they're not deficient. So that's why you got to go and figure your own stuff out. You can't just depend on what anybody else says. And I've tried to make that clear on TikTok, but there's still, there's people who do come in and they're like, oh, this is working, and this is working for me, and this is working for me, or whatever, the different things that they're trying. But then there's other people. Like I have this one person, nothing's working right now, and she's just her cancer spreading and stuff. And, I mean, I told her today, if you're doing all these things, then there's something you're holding on to. And that is that people have got to realize, like, this isn't just your body. This is mind, body, spirit. And your body is representing what you're here to work on. And if you're not fucking working on it, your body's going to keep getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And so, and if you keep distracting yourself and not paying attention, you don't want to go there, you don't want to think about that, then you are doing a disservice to yourself. And so, trying to, get people to understand, you got to work on your stuff. You got to let go of things. And yeah, your body's going to stay sick. And then it can also be with the alkaline, the acid. It can be something with the lifestyle. It could be something with where you live and what they're putting in your water, what they're spraying on you. It can be so many different things. And that is why you've got to be so aware of, your environment. You got to be detoxing, be aware of what's going on in your body. You got to be detoxing. The parasite thing, you got to be fucking killing those things off. And then adding in as much of the minerals as you can, but doing it through those things, because with the copper, magnesium, iron thing, it changes so much stuff in your body. It adds in collagen, makes varicose veins go away. Like she was even saying, oh, my varicose veins are getting worse. And it's like there's so much more. And then plus, this is people I'm talking to on the internet. I'm not even sitting there with them and trying to, help them figure it out. Like, I feel like some of these people, I could help them figure it out more. But it's like, but you can figure it out just like I figured it out. Like, it's putting action towards what it is you desire. And if you desire health, and feeling better, and to stop aging and to stop getting sick and all that, then you put your mind towards that, and the universe will work with you, taking you on a journey towards that, because it was always going to happen that way. Once you do it, that's the way it was always going to go down. And so it's not like, oh, you should have done it sooner. No, you did it right when you were supposed to do it. And so but the iron and the copper and the magnesium, it also adds in. It does things for your skin, your hair, all sorts of things inside your body and stuff. So it's three that really are important to us. So those ones are easy ones to do too. It's like, it's so simple to get a goddamn copper cup. Like I had one guy tell me that every morning he has a copper cup, so he leaves some water in it overnight. Every morning he gets up and drinks that first thing, and it. That's it. That's his copper. And he leaves it sitting in his cup, and then he just drinks his cup in the morning and goes, and he's doing really good. It doesn't have to be like this big giant thing, you know? And some people maybe couldn't leave it overnight. Maybe, you know, an hour's plenty, you know, maybe just, you know, different times of the day, have a glass of copper water. You know, it's like you got to figure out what works for you. But it's simple. Like, hopefully, you're drinking some water every day. So, what's the difference? You know, you shouldn't be drinking it out of plastic because that's leaching toxins into it. Which, you know, all these motherfucking things. These things over there with the water in them, those are all plastic, and it's like, fuck, it just sits there seeping into it. But then I think, fuck, if it was glass, I wouldn't even be able to carry it at all. So maybe if it was metal, that would be better, like a lightweight kind of tin or something. I don't know. I mean, eventually we're going to have water that's not toxic, and we're not going to have, I mean, we'll have healthy, clean water. Somehow this will happen. I don't know. But, you know, we're going towards it. How it's going to go down, that's what we're headed towards. But hopefully you're drinking some water every day, and it shouldn't be a big stretch to drink some out of copper. And you know, you should be cooking for yourself every day. You shouldn't just be depending on these other people to make your food, because there's too much garbage in it. And that's one thing right there that can be making you sick. But cooking some stuff with the cast iron is going to put the iron, and then you got to take the magnesium because you need the dominoes to hit each other. Those ones work together. And I can't imagine people doing those three simple things if they haven't been doing them, and them not seeing a difference. Especially taking the vitamin D, though. Vitamin D, magnesium needs vitamin D. Like, they all need each other. Like, all these things depend on each other. They need unity. Like, it is like this mind, body, spirit balance is finding unity in you. And then think micro, macro, because that's where we're finding unity in our relationships, in our communities, in our overall society. That is the direction that we're going towards. And so it starts with you. It starts with you doing you, taking care of yourself. And that puts you into the direction of where we're headed. Like, some people will keep fighting it and going in other directions, but eventually, you know, you want to keep going, you got to get in the direction that things are going. Like, you can't just stay back there because that's going one way, and if you're not going that way, then where are you going? And so that will play itself out. And the people that don't go in the direction that we're going, obviously they're not going. Like, they're going somewhere else. And so but whatever it is, like, because there's like selenium, there's like a lot of different ones, because selenium is another one that has changed people's hair. They were just taking selenium and their hair changed. So, and you got to think too, is some of these people start taking it just the same way I was, just like, you know, people just don't realize how the universe is showing them and talking to them all the time. They're just disconnected from that. They just think like, oh, synchronicity, oh, this, oh, that just, that happened, this happened. But no, it's all happening for you. So the more you catch on. But so some of these people, you know, they're getting their answers when they're going in a certain direction. And I don't know what their questions are. I'm just saying that once you put yourself in that direction where you're like, oh, I want to focus on my health, I want to get better, that the universe is listening, and they will start bringing you that information. And so when you feel lost, like you don't even know where to start, just keep going in that direction. Keep trying things. Keep listening to people, listening to different videos, listening to different information, looking stuff up. And that will come to you, like in your algorithm. The things that you need to know will come to you. And that is, and don't be surprised if it comes in a package you're not expecting, because that is a part of what is happening in our society as well, is to get people to be over their biases. So it could be somebody who you would think like, oh, I would never listen to them for advice. And then you're missing out on the best advice ever, because you should be listening to all different people. You shouldn't be judging somebody on the package. And that is where we are, that is a part of what we are awakening to, learning and growing from. And so that is a big part. Or something coming into my mind while I was saying that. Let me think if I can see it again. the people, the mind, body, spirit, going in a direction. Man, what was that? Seemed like, oh, I gotta say that. I can't remember what it was. It might come pop back in. I can't see it clear enough. But that anomaly thing, what they call the anomaly, the black thing that was over by Africa. And then they said, oh, that was Godzilla. It went up in a spaceship, and that's why it hasn't been around. But now it's there, and it is way, way bigger. And so whenever the people, like, they're looking on these maps, and these maps, like, it shows the weather, and then it shows that, like, you can go up for a few days, and it will show as the system moves where it's moving to, how far it's moving, and how big it's getting, and how fast the wind's going, and all that kind of stuff. And so there's a lot of people, because of all these storms, that go on and look at these websites or whatever. And so now on this one, the anomaly, when they move it forward. So today the anomaly is there, but over the next few days, as it moves forward, it fucking expands. The black expands and covers Africa, and it does it like, I would say gradual, but pretty quick. It was only over a couple days. It might be tomorrow or the next day or something that it's supposed to be completely covering it. I don't even fucking know. Like, Africa is still on the map of the map that's coming, but you know, there's a lot of energy and stuff being purged. I don't know if there's more attacks there. I don't know. I don't know what all this. So I just know all this stuff is there for our awakening. Like, there's nothing to be scared of. Like, you know, even if something bad's gonna happen, like, you're okay. It's like the angels come down and protect you. There's nothing that you need to be scared of. But you need to also have awareness. Like, there's too many people just going around oblivious. And you shouldn't be going at, like, you know, how did this 19-year-old girl get taken? And the one girl went on a date, then made the mistake of going up to the guy's place. Like, you got to be thinking wiser. You can't be just trusting any old person. Like, fuck, that girl, Micah, she had told one of her friends that her husband had called her and told her he wanted to get back together, and that for her to go meet. And then, you know, and I from what I keep hearing, supposedly she was from back here, a GSW back here, and they're saying that she did it to herself. Like, what? Maybe I'm misunderstanding something, but that's how I kept hearing. But I don't know. I mean, we know that he did it, like, whatever the story may be, you know, he did it, and it's going to keep playing out, and this is going to keep showing that, you know, people, just because someone goes to church doesn't make him a good person. And that is the illusion that so many people live under. Oh, well, they go to church. Oh, well, they're a good person. Well, that is a big exposure happening on our fucking planet right now, is all these different people. These people who were allowed to adopt people and all these things, and they were all monsters. And this monster world was here to protect them. That once you show yourself as a monster, they want you to be there. They want contact with the monsters. They want to, it's how they find more criminals. Like, I don't know. It's weird too, is how some of them, they take them and put them in prison, but that part is to destroy certain communities. That's why prisons are filled with certain colors of people, is because they're trying to destroy their communities. And you know, when I had said about, I bet you there's gonna be a thing that's gonna come out, all these different fucking guys are missing organs. Yep. You know, there's something coming out about all these different guys who have been, you know, died in these places. Then during their autopsies, they're missing all these organs and stuff. And but there's something in the prison system that say that they can take whatever they want. They can take parts. You know, it's like you're owned, like you're a soldier or something. Like, they make the soldiers be owned by the government. It's the same thing what they do. And all these different men and stuff, and they just take their parts. Like, what the fuck where in goddamn hell are all these parts going? Like, seriously, why wouldn't they just, you know, feed us the the whole person. Like, why would they just go, oh, well, we'll just take their kidneys and feed them that? Like, I don't know. There's something way weird going on. Like, I know they feed us all the scraps and stuff of all their killing, but that they leave, I don't know. There's weird. Like, there's certain parts that they take out, and I don't think that they're taking extra effort for us. I think the extra effort is for them. And I don't know. I can't imagine for how many of these fucking things go missing, is kidney things go missing out of people, that there could be that many people who need them, that there's that much of a market. Like, you could go and sell those, you know, all over the place. You'd stand out from the hospital. Yeah, you need a kidney? We got them right here. We got them on special. It's like, I think that we would be overrun. There's got to be something that they are literally using them for. Like, it's a guaranteed sell. And it's got to be something with these elitist motherfuckers. Like, there's something strange. I don't know. But, you know, it's going to all come out. But now we're just at the part where it's like, yeah, there's all these parts missing. Where are the parts going? Like, what's going on here? And so we got that exposure. Like, there's so many things being exposed right now. So many. Like, but what we have is so many people who are waking up and outraged and confused and sad and mad, and you know, it's like a fucking storm. So we're in the storm, that's for sure. We're in this time. And so you can see how it's all going. Like, this is the part of this exposing and getting people rattled, getting people's like, get them pay attention, and then this whatever's going to happen, that's going to flip us going the other direction, which that is going to be very unstabilizing to so many people. It's going to be so unexpected. All these people who think they're so awake, they are not. So many of them don't see this coming. It blows my mind. And there's so many people who think that they're so spiritual and they don't see this coming. Like, this is coming. Everything is going to flip. It is what they're going to call the pole shift. It is an energetic flipping. It is where we're going to go from dark to light. It's like we've been living in the dark, but we're going to be going into the light. And it's going to be very uncomfortable because so many people had adapted to the dark. And going out of the dark and into the light is going to be blinding to them. It's going to be horrific. And so, but it's their soul stuff. It's their things that they have to work out. And everybody's got their own. And all I can tell you is just keep working it out. Like, that's real. And you're carrying it from lots of different lives, lots of different past realities and stuff. So this is your opportunity to purge out this darkness that you have maintained for probably eons, you know? So but anyways, that is the process of what it is that we're doing, is this flipping. Everything is going to flip, going, you know, from, because it is like the as so below, as above, so below, whatever. But we've been in this part, but so it's going to flip. So we're going to go into the light. But it's all the people who accepted everything that was the way it was and didn't have an internal that said, no, it shouldn't be this way. But this is the part right now that is waking people up. Or people are going, this shouldn't be this way. This shouldn't be this way. This shouldn't be this way. And everything is falling apart. Like the people who are hung on the government thing. Oh, yeah, that one lady. Even they were, Megyn Kelly was making fun of her because she went and got extensions, really long extensions. And she's trying to market herself as this professional politician, and she's a dog murderer. And so all this stuff is just expose, to get people to think, to get people to see, like, this is what we vote in. It's like all of it is to be outrageous because it's all to snap people out of it, to get them out of the dark and into the light. And that's where everything switches, because everyone is focused on the light. Everyone is being like, it shouldn't be this way. It shouldn't be this way. And that pulls us into the light. So this is happening. It's happening all around us. And so many people are distracted with all different things and looking at things, you know, I don't know. However people look at it is the way they're supposed to look at it. That's what you're here to learn. So, you know, I can't tell you you're doing it wrong. I'm just telling you there's other ways. There's other things you can be looking at, and there is a real positive thing as to what's going on, even though people are all like freaked out and scared and stuff. But it's not going to keep going in this direction. And I don't know what over here on the strip, like if there really has been a lot of murder and mayhem and stuff. I know that it's all coming out that they've been taking these kids over to Germany and stuff like that. But I knew that. I said that fucking, like, they're not going to be wasting kids. Like, what are you fucking guys crazy? You think they're just killing kids? Like, what? No. They're going to fucking first chase them, eat them, sex them. They're not going to just kill them before they've done all that. No, they've got fucking business. So, anyways, whatever's going on over there, you know, that is what has to play out there. And, you know, for some reason it's brought over here. Oh, yeah, that's what the other thing was. It's like over, I think it's at Harvard or something, because they've got all these stand-ins, standoffs or whatever, all this stuff going on all these college campuses, because that's got to play out too. And it's got to be dramatic because these kids are so brainwashed. But they've got like this one group of protesters, and they've all set up encampments, like they've all got tent cities and stuff on these college campuses. And so in the middle of the night, because they're up all day protesting, so now in the middle of the night, these frat boys who are all patriots, they're blasting the Star Spangled Banner. They're going out in the daytime, waving flags and voting for Trump and all stuff. And so, you know, it's going to probably turn ugly. It's probably not funny at all, but it is kind of funny that, you know, like stupid stuff like playing the Star Spangled Banner real loud while these people are trying to sleep, because these people are anti-America. And it's why, like, that's why I said some of these kids don't realize what they're involved in, man. Like, fucking TREASON is going to be a big word. We're going to hear a lot of that. We're going to hear a lot of that once the fucking tables turn. Once we let go of the dark and we're in the light, that's some word we're going to hear a lot. It's going to be very, very intense for a lot of people. And so anyways, there's a lot of stuff still to play out, but we're in the middle of it. It's fucking going and my stomach's growling. So, and it's moving. So everything is moving, and there's nothing, the thing to me is just, you know, keep aware, pay attention. Don't get lazy. Don't get sleepy. Don't, you know, pay attention to what's going on. Don't put yourself at risk. You know, if you're putting yourself at risk, then, you know, maybe that's how you're supposed to go out. I don't know. Or maybe you're supposed to learn, you know, everybody's got their own lessons. But anyways, if you're scared of all the things going on, just stay safe. Just pay attention. Don't go and get out into altercations, because people are fucking crazy right now. People are not firing on all cylinders. So it's definitely not the time to go start arguing. Some fucking lawyers started trying to help, I guess, in a McDonald's situation, because some of these fucking customers are losing their minds. I got 5 chicken McNuggets and I'm supposed to have 10. And it's like they're, you know, but the whole thing is going to keep falling apart. But anyways, this attorney tried to fix something and he got himself killed. So you just got to watch out. But don't forget, whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen. It's happening the way it's supposed to happen. So, but if you have that thing of like, well, I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Just, you know, pay attention, stay safe, pay attention to your surroundings and be aware. Yeah, there's fucking instigators out there. There's people who enjoy skinning people alive out in the streets. Like, they're there to fucking harass us and scare us and shit. So lock your doors. Lock your doors, stay safe. And remember, you got to love yourself, and you got to love them. You got to love everybody. And you got to figure out how to have a loving day through it all. It's up to you. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.